I loudly coughed as my eyes absent-mindedly scanned over the small container filled to the brim with objects that seemed more alive than dead when I took a closer look at them. The feeling that overran my being was disconcerting, momentarily distracting me from the uncomfortable scratching in my throat, inflicted by the age of these long-forgotten possessions of mine. How I mustered the need to take a trip into the past was a mystery to me. Why I needed to slip back into old thoughts I might have had back then, or how I used to act when said objects were an apparent and definite part of my day. My nails hit fragile porcelain, a small bowl creeping its way through the darkness of the seemingly forgotten attic I had crawled into to satisfy this strange urge, craving after buried memories and textures that would undoubtedly make me feel 10 years younger. This bowl had always been my first choice to eat nostalgic cereal out of, my young mind loving the colors, the patterns, until it just slipped from my mind one day to the other. This love came back in a big wave, immediately drowning me with strange, distant, but still my own euphoria, as my eyes widened, staring at this inanimate object that seemed to glance right back, transporting me into a time long gone. I didn't like this feeling, although I began to doubt my own judgment, as my hands didn't seem to want to let this stupid dish go. I quietly gulped, trying to flush away this knot that was forming in my throat, as something in my mind forced me to finally return the bowl, but instead look for something else. What I was looking for, I wasn't sure of, but this thought didn't seem to calm my puzzled nerves in the slightest. My touch suddenly reached a thin slip of thicker paper, as my mind immediately realized I was reaching for a photograph, the most hazardous when you didn't want to conjure unwanted memories. My anticipation seemed painfully misplaced, as I slowly and carefully pulled the printed image from within this mess of rubble, only to flip it to the right side without hesitation, immediately beginning to scan over the shapes and colors that greeted my sight as good as I could in this darkness. It was me. Just me? Just me. A version of me that was younger, a lot younger. I recognized the park this was taken at, smiled at the adorable jumper I was wearing, questioned my mom's decision to let me walk around with that horrendous haircut, and froze at the expression of mind that was solemnly captured in this one single photo. One of its kind and irreplaceable. What's a scary thought, right? It was dead silent around me. I couldn't even hear my own breathing. I looked like myself, but not fully. My expression was calm, as well as you could tell with a toddler. My mannerisms seemed to be excited. My small hands raised into the air, and a stupid smile adorning my face. Something heavy fell onto my shoulders, making me slouch, giving me difficulties breathing, as I couldn't tear my eyes away from this photo. Just this photo. Did I really grow up from this? Did I grow up at all? I knew that that was me on the image, but I didn't feel further from reality than when looking at it. The past was a bizarre thing, and looking directly into its glowing eyes full of knowledge that wasn't wished to be known was absolutely gut-wrenching. I hated it. Yet I sat there, joggers dotted with grey dust, the sign of time passing, as I tried to silently convince myself that no time had passed at all. Too horrifying was this numbing sense of existing within something temporary, being mortal, having responsibilities, and subsequently growing up without being able to do anything. I just sat there, motionless. All of this just because of a damn picture.